My name is John Hebert. I'm originally from Manchester, New Hampshire, 64 years old. I live in Saint Croix, Virgin Islands. I'm a contractor. Happenstance brought me to Beth, Israel. Through friendships and contacts of those friends, I ended up here, and I'm happy I did. Itching, jaundice. Itching was the worst. August of 2024, started having these symptoms. Went to see my local GI guy in Saint Croix. He sent me to Baptist Memorial in Miami. I had a stent implanted in my biliary tract. Okay, so then they did some tests, told me that I had Klatskin Tumor, told me that they didn't think a transplant was in my wheelhouse and that I should go to different places. And they sent me to the Jack's Memorial in Miami. They gave me a similar story. I was hearing that I didn't have any options, that I was inoperable, that the cancer had spread throughout my abdominal cavity, my lymph nodes, and that my best course of action was to spend the next couple of years getting my affairs in order and maybe staying on chemo. Ram Demerjian had looked at all the reports and looked at the imaging and made a determination that really my only option was a transplant. And he said to me, go see Martin Dibb. Before I talked to Dr. Demerjian, yes, I felt like I was out of options. And my hopes were raised when I talked to Aram. And obviously when I came to see Dr. Dibb, then I felt, that I had hope. When I saw Dr. Dibb, and it was determined that I was a candidate for resection. And had Dr. Dibb not seen that and recommended that I have these additional tests done, we wouldn't have known that. I didn't know anything about a resection. I didn't know what it was. And then when I met with Dr. Dibb, and then he explained to me, over a period of an hour and a half, and it looked to me, I don't know, but it looked to me like he was just coming out of surgery. So I've still got the drawing that he did for me, explaining everything to me in very clear detail. Well, I mean, I felt that after everything I had been through over the past, 7-8 months with various specialists, that there was at least hope. Somebody said to me, transplant. I thought, okay, that's better than dying. So I didn't know. My expectations were that I had something else to look at rather than chemo and getting my affairs in order. Dr. Dibb, I will say, was very informative, which I can tell you from my experience is not typically the case with doctors, especially surgeons. He explained to me that robotic surgery would be less invasive. It would be more precise. I think I saw Dr. Dibb and his team. I think not the same day I came out. I mean, my surgery was 16 hours, so kind of lost track of time. So technically, I guess it was the next day. But I said to him, when can I get out of here? And he said, as soon as you can move around on your own and you can pass gas. So I immediately located a walker that was in the room. And when my wife and son showed up, I had them help me navigate that. And then I started walking. So I was discharged 4 days after surgery, which I was told was unprecedented. They were all pretty amazed that I was up and around and ready to get out of there in that shorter period of time. And I think that's a tribute to the the nursing staff, the medical staff, and certainly Dr. Dibb's team. Anybody who has this similar condition that I had and is hopeless, I think the word needs to get out that this team is here and does this and can save lives. If we're talking about life and death issues, the distance doesn't matter, right? I think the healthcare in the Virgin Islands in general is underrated in my personal experience. There are some great healthcare professionals there. I have tried to connect Dr. Dibb's team with the folks who I am dealing with in Saint Croix, the oncologists and certainly the GI team and my general practitioner, so that they have that resource. And I think that's important, not only for the Virgin Islands, but for anybody who is in a, semi-isolated condition and they think that their options are limited. With technology today, internet, et cetera, your options aren't limited. Recon. There's hope. Come to Beth Israel, talk to Dr. Dib. Can never hurt to have a conversation, right? And until you've exhausted every avenue, keep looking. But I was lucky, and I want there to be a resource for people out there, whether they see a video or they see a blurb or they see some chat room somewhere that says, try Beth Israel Deaconess, Dr. Dib is the guy, whatever it takes. And aside from not wanting to give up and, trying to look at all options, I had great support. Sorry. My friend and surgeon, Chuck Calabrese, who has become a really good friend, is the surgeon I've been talking about. And he's the one who said, get your ass to Boston, go see your arm, and he'll send you in the right direction. More than a year later, I'm recovering. I'm going through immunotherapy. According to Dr. Dib, they got all of the cancer out. They were able to repair the portal vein and the biliary tree, and they took out a portion of my liver. Liver regenerates, if you weren't aware of that, which is pretty awesome. So I'm recovering. I'm probably 20 pounds lighter than I am normally, but I got no complaints. I'm happy to be where I am. Thanks. I think I've been very clear with them about how thankful and grateful I am. Just been a very gratifying, if you can say that from a surgical perspective, gratifying experience. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and I'm grateful.